Okay, so when evaluating something, all right, a certain area or a certain field, okay, so we have or we write the critical evaluation. So from the word itself, you become critical, okay, you analyze, okay, so there's a critical analysis going on, okay, upon evaluating or assessing a certain material. Okay, so let's start. Okay, so here, the critical evaluation of paper or critique. There. All right. So let's talk about the principles of writing a critical evaluation paper. Okay, so when we say critique, so it's a definition. Let's have the definition and nature of a critical evaluation paper. So a critical evaluation paper or critique is an example of an academic paper that aims to review and judge the overall quality of material based on a set of criteria. So it may evaluate several subjects, including but is not limited to the following. So you may evaluate creative works, research, media, software, and application. So last time, okay, when I had this subject with grade 12, okay, last semester, so they confuse critique from review. So class, remember, critical evaluation paper is different from review because critique is objective in nature. Say objective, okay, so you're not biased, so you evaluate or assess a material based on a set of criteria, okay, so it is objective and it's technical. So whereas, like what I said, you based your judgment on a set of criteria, while review is subjective, okay, based on your opinion and presents the overall judgment of material. Okay, let's say movie review, book review, song review. All right, have you encountered these reviews before? Okay. And aside from that, critiques are mostly written by experts of a particular field, okay, while reviews are written by anyone who are interested in a particular area. Like for example, you were amazed about this certain movie, so you made a movie review about it. Okay, you were like there was a song that is for you is very impactful, so that's why you make a review about it. Okay, so anyone can write reviews, but for critique or critical evaluation paper, usually these are written by experts of a particular field to assess a certain application, services, restaurant, program, okay, to improve their for innovation. Okay, so are we clear on that? Because I encountered many times like I read a review instead of a critique before. All right, so again, a critical evaluation paper is aims to review and judge the overall quality of a material based on a set of criteria. Okay, are we clear on that? Okay, question. Okay, next. So what's the purpose of a critique? So in the academe, it's to gain awareness and knowledge of the various creative, academic, and research output in a field of discipline. So it's to develop critical thinking by analyzing information and judging its value. For example, looking for secondary sources or research work. Now, in the workplace, so the purpose of a critique is to learn to point out strengths and capitalize on them for the benefit of your institution. So it's to improve the quality of services, programs, or products by examining weaknesses in order to improve on them. So it's to innovate and develop new services, programs, or products catering to the needs of the consumers. Okay, so before we have these applications, these appliances, okay, these smartphones, they undergone with, you know, evaluation. Okay, so they undergone, or they underwent with the critique, okay, before they're out in the market. Okay, so again, for innovation in the workplace, we use critique. Okay, so how to write a critical evaluation paper. So first, so here are the steps. Explore possible topics. Okay, so what topic interests you and your readers? Okay, so this trend nowadays. Okay, what topic is relevant to evaluate and discuss? What topic can be relatable in my field of specialization? So it's better if you will make a critique. Okay, so for this for your performance task, okay, make sure that it is related to your field of specialization. Okay, so what topic is too good or too bad? Okay, so you may also uh, consider this. Next, establish standards, criteria for evaluation. So identify 3 or 5 criteria and add number set of criteria. Criteria will allow to clearly decide whether more aspects get positive or negative reviews. Okay, so usually we only consider 3 criteria. So we don't name more than 5. Okay, so maximum is 5. Okay, minimum is 3 criteria. So make sure that each criteria is neither too broad nor too specific. And then identify 3 sub-criteria for each main criterion for the purpose of discussion of the evaluation. So later I will, let's do this like bits, okay? So, himay-himayin natin later. Alright, so next, do field work. So after you explore possible topics and then set your criteria for judging, now do the field work. Examine the subject of your evaluation thoroughly using the set of criteria and sub criteria in order to make an objective judgment. Revisit your criteria in order to remind you of what exactly you are looking for in the evaluation. Decide a verdict of judgment for each criterion based on the examination of the sub criteria. So let's say you have 3 criteria. For each criteria, you will have like sub criteria. Okay, so later I will explain so what the sub criteria are. And next, derive with a judgment. So after a thorough review of the criteria, you will be able to determine which garner the positive and negative review. Thus, you will be able to come up with a judgment based on which criteria dominated the evaluation. So your claim. So the claim is your overall judgment of the subject, good or bad. So before you move on and discuss each criteria, you present your claim. Okay, after the introductory or the introductory parts with the background, after the background. You say how to, so next after the field work, so after you derive with the judgment, so you organize the fieldwork data. So you can organize your data by using a topic template. So we have the introduction, we have the body, and then we have the conclusion. So this is the normal template. Okay, and then the references or works cited. So for the introduction, so here you present the subject and provides a context for evaluation. So you present your general background. Okay, so you here in the under the general background, you have your hook statement. So hook statement is like it can be questions, statistic, quotation, etc. Okay, basic, and then after your hook statement, you present your the basic information about the subject to provide context. So, like, what is the subject all about? You give a little or a brief history, a background, okay, about the subject. And after that, you presents now your claim or your thesis statement. So it presents the overall judgment of the subject by enumerating the criteria used and attaching adjectives to describe each criterion. So adjectives here are very useful, okay, in presenting your claim or your thesis statement. So for the body, so the body discusses details of the evaluation by presenting criterion, okay, should be labeled clearly and describe the standard clearly. So you will give a little bit background about criterion, okay, for each criterion. And then after that, you give your topic sentence. Okay, it presents a judgment for that particular criterion. And then you now give your supporting evidence. Okay, supporting evidence should be discussed to show credibility. And if there's any counter argument, then present your counter argument. For the conclusion, so this provides closure to the paper by way of synthesis and summary. Okay, so it's like a summary of the overall content of the paper. So you present the restatement of the claim. Okay, so it should be reworded version of the claim found in the introduction. Okay, the summary of the evaluation, so maybe provided for all the criteria, and your insights or implications. So you discuss this in the conclusion as well. So you discuss the significance of the evaluation to a larger context, why this evaluation is important. Okay, so any question? Question, class? Don't worry, hindi naman kayo sasabak agad sa writing. So, first, you have to, I will give you a sample critic paper, okay? And then you just have to answer the following questions, okay? So that you'll be able to have a glimpse of it. Then after that, I will be asking you to make a template, okay, for your chosen topic, okay? So again, it can be the material can be like programs on technology, a certain appliance, or smartphones, a certain game if you're interested with games. Okay, but as much as possible, it should be related to your strength. Okay, so science, technology. All right. So just choose one. Okay. If it's movie, if you want to assess a certain movie, sci-fi. Okay, so much better if sci-fi. Alright, so let's say I will present, okay, so this one, a template. So wait, I will give you the template. And then next week class, while you will, because next week you'll be busy with, writing your paper, let's just meet for consultation, okay, next week for this subject. All right. Where's my paint? Okay, let's say, for example, so this one is the template. This one. All right. So let's say the title is a critical evaluation on blank. Okay, so what kind of material you're going to evaluate? So introduction. So we have the introduction. We have the hook statement. So hook statement can be, again, can be a question. Hook, kaya nga it's hook. It's how you will get your readers to read and to continue reading your evaluation. Okay, so hook statement can be a quotation, can be like let's say a statistic. All right, so based on blah blah blah, according to blah blah blah. If it's like a movie, then if you're going to assess a certain movie, then a very impactful line from the movie, okay, can be a hook statement. If it's from a song, then let's say the the line, the very specific lines from the song that is very impactful or elicit emotions to the listeners, like that. Okay, so it can be. All right, so hook statement can be quotation, can be a certain line from a movie. If you're going to assess a movie, it can be a certain lyrics from a song. If you're going to assess a certain song, okay, or statistics, okay, based on statistics, etc. Then after that, your hook statement, you give the brief summary of the subject. Okay, so what's the subject all about? Okay, if it's a movie, or what's the movie all about? Okay, this movie Star Wars blah 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 is based on, it was released on the year of the, it was directed, and so on and so forth, like that. Okay, and then after you give the brief summary of your subject, you now present your claim or your thesis statement. So what can you say about the movie or the song, about the material as a whole? Okay, so let's say this kind of game presents significant impact when it comes to, and then the three criteria that you have. Okay, so use adjectives. Okay, so like that. So, after the thesis statement, now you go now to the body. Okay, so you present the first criterion. Okay, so what's the first criterion? Okay, and then you give now the definition. What's the criterion all about? So this criterion is blah 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 according to, there should be supporting evidence, right? Cite the source. Then after you give the description or the definition for your criterion, now you give the 3 sub-criteria. Okay? And then after that, your topic sentence. Okay, so what can you say about the criterion as a whole? Right? Considering the 3 sub-criteria, and then the supporting evidence. Okay? Then after that, so you now proceed to the criterion 2. This just the same. You define the criterion first, and then give the 3 sub-criteria after that, and then proceed to the topic sentence. So what can you say about the criterion as a whole? So, and then, yeah, after you give, you evaluate the material based on the 3 criteria that you have, you can now proceed to the conclusion. So the restatement of the claim or thesis, so it should be reworded, okay, reworded version of your thesis statement from the introduction. All right, and then after that, the summary of your evaluation and your insights. So why this evaluation is significant, okay, to a greater populace. All right, so give your insights. So for example, I'll show you an example critique from hmm, let's say this one. Okay, wait. I'll give you a very okay, this one. Let's say a movie. I will wait. Okay, this one. Okay, let's see this one. Can you see? Can you see it? All right, so for example, this one. So it's a critical evaluation of Star Cinema's She's Dating the Gangster, okay? So introduction statement, that one. So it's like a specific line from the movie. If there is such a force greater than love, it's time. So this is one of the famous lines, blah, 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 in the dating of the She's Dating the Gangster. After that, the brief summary of the subject. Okay, so what is She's Dating a Gangster all about? Okay, so this one is a movie. And then your claim or your thesis statement. So the film is a box office success because it features convincing acting performance. Okay, so that's one. A realistic but unpredictable narrative. Okay, that's the second. And good lighting and camera work. Alright, so the narrative is under plot. There. First criterion. Okay, so plot. Okay, what is plot? So you give the definition of the criterion. Then sub-criteria, originality, relevance, and so on. Topic sentence, the overall plot appeared realistic and unexpected since it showed real-life relationship issues and struggles as a couple. And then the supporting evidence. Okay, so criterion 2, acting. So it's there. Convincing acting performances. Okay, so it's there in the claim or thesis statement. So what is acting? And then 3 sub-criteria, chemistry, vocal expressions, and inflection, characterization. And then the topic sentence, so it's about the acting. The major performers were able to create realistic characters because of their undeniable chemistry, their impressive vocal expression, their inflection, and outstanding characterization. There. Alright, and then the supporting evidence. Okay, and then the third one is the cinematography. So cinematography is here. Okay, let's go back to the claim. There, good lighting and camera work. So that's cinematography. Okay, so cinematography is the art or skill of using video photography in movies. So we have the lighting, angles, camera movement within the shot. Okay, so topic sentence, it's here. The film used correct lighting to emphasize the varied periods and emotions of each scene, blah, blah, blah. Okay, and then the supporting evidence there. And after that, your conclusion. So restatement of your claim. The plot, photography, and acting all contribute to the film's overall positive grade. And summary of the evaluation. And then the insights. So if it's not worth watching, the movie will not be a box office hit. Blah blah blah. Received positively by the audience all across the world only indicates that it was a good film. Okay, the Philippine film industry will become well known as a result of the films they produce. Like that. And then the references. Question? Question class. Okay, so again, you come up with a topic, you come up with the material first. So what's your material? Is it an application? Is it a game? Is it a movie? Is it a certain appliance, a certain technology? All right, a certain book, a song, etc. And after you decide, on the topic, okay, on the material, give 3 criteria. Okay, so these criteria will be your basis, okay, for the evaluation. You understand? And for each criteria, there should be 3 sub-criteria. So, like for example, in plot, so what's under plot?
Electric fan
Right, the
yun?
setting, what else?
Kasing cute niya.
What could be the sub-criteria for plot if it's a movie, aside from the setting? Anyone? Let's make a certain topic. I would like to, let's say the topic is this one. Anyone like to try? A critical evaluation. Let's say the topic is this. You cancel. I would like to try. Let's say a certain technology, a restaurant. You choose, and then let's just catch things up together. Come on, give me an idea. Anyone? Oh. What's the trend nowadays? Any recent technology, recent applications, programs, a very popular movie, let's say, a restaurant. What do you have in mind? Hello? Oh. You're always on the social media, so I know that you are well updated when it comes to trends. So what is the trend nowadays? Yes, Erica.
The Canva created po a new way of editing, which is yung sa Google Docs po nag-edit. Is that possible?
Like Canva? Let's say Canva. Okay, Canva as a whole, as an software. Or what can you say? Is it a software? Is it an application? A website?
Application po.
Let's say Canva. And then let's have the 3 sub-criteria. The criteria. Okay, so what could be the criteria for, let's say, we would like to evaluate Canva? So after you come up with a topic, proceed to the criteria first. And after you give the criteria and then sub-criteria for each criterion. Then you now proceed to your thesis statement. What can you say about Canva as a whole? Okay, considering the criteria given. Let's have the criteria. Mm. What could be, if we were going to assess Canva, what could be the criteria? Yes, Mark.
The application features.
Hmm?
The application features po.
Features?
Yes po.
Application features? Is that what you said?
Yes po.
Okay. The features, okay. And then, what could be the sub-criteria for features? Oh, come on. Yes. Jonaline Mayari.
Sub-criteria po ba?
Yes, under features.
Ano po? Yung templates po.
Okay, the templates. And then, what else? Aside from the templates. Yes. JC, Matalog.
Free graphic design po.
Okay, the graphic design. And then, what else? Yes, Kervin. Rahis.
Elements.
Okay, the elements. All right, there. Okay, so next, let's move on with the second criteria. Yes, Prince Joshua.
Pwede po ba yung accessibility? Kasi po,
Okay, accessibility.
sa web lang po siya.
Yes, exactly. It's accessibility. There. What can be the three sub criteria under accessibility? Yes, Jay.
Convenience po, ma'am.
Okay, if it's convenient, convenience. And then, what else? What else? Under accessibility. Yes. Prince Joshua.
Storage efficient po since hindi na po siya nilita.
Okay, storage. And then, what else? Yes, John Rods.
The GUI po, or the user interface.
The user interface. Okay. Alright, there. See? We're there. Okay, the third criteria. Yes, Erica.
Possible po kaya yung effectiveness po.
Effectiveness. Okay, let's try that. Activity. Okay, so what could be the sub criteria for effectivity? Yes, Erica.
The beauty po of the design, the beauty of the work po.
Okay. I think that's under graphics already. If we were going to consider the designs, right? Can how about the others? Can you think of a better criteria? Hmm. Yes. Who's that? Yes, Jade.
Ma'am, kung gaano po siya kadalas magamit or ma-apply?
Mm-hmm. Hmm. So we have the features, we have the accessibility. So what could be the third criteria? Uh-huh. Come on. Yes, John Rods.
Okay po ba yung secured editing po?
Security.
Yes po, something like that.
It's like privacy and security, like that.
Yes po. When
Okay.
editing.
Okay. Privacy and security. Okay. All right, let's just have security. Okay, and then under security can be privacy, right? Okay. What else? Mm. Come on. What do you consider when using a certain application? Under security, what else do we consider aside from privacy? Yes, John Gerwin Villanueva.
Safety po of the file.
Okay, safety of the file. Okay, and then what else? Yes, Fiona.
Risk po.
Okay, risk. There you go. You have now the three criteria. So for each, when you proceed to, let's say, okay, Canva, okay, give a little background about Canva. What is Canva? Okay, you give a little background. Who's the founder, or when was Canva become popular among the users, like that. And after that, okay, so after give your hook statement and then the background knowledge about Canva, you give your thesis statement. So what can you say about Canva as a whole when it comes to features, accessibility, and security? Like that. And after that, after you give your thesis statement, so you will now proceed to the body. Okay, so for each body, so for the criterion one, so this one, you will tackle about features. Okay, criterion two, accessibility. And then for criterion three, security. Do you understand? Now, what's gonna happen on your paper? You understand now, class? Question? Question. Okay, so for this week, I'll just give you a sample critique paper. Just read the sample critique paper and then answer 12 questions. Okay, and then start thinking now about a certain material that you would like to assess before we move on with, the writing process. Okay, I'll give you the template for that. Okay, so it's just like an outline for your paper. And then next week, we will now start writing your paper. How's that? Good? Okay, everyone is okay with that? Alright, no question? Everything is clear? Okay, so if there's no question, so I will give you again for your written work 7 for this week. So you just have to read about critique on not your typical love story, a critical evaluation of Star Cinema starting over again. And then there's 12 questions that you need to answer. And then after that, so I'll give you the template. Okay, so start uh, looking for a material that you would like to assess. Alright, so just the criteria, okay, or the performance task that I'll give you next week as you start the writing process. So the significance and contribution to the field, the methodology or approach, argument and use of evidence, writing style, and text structure. So it's 100 points. So 25 for significance and contribution to the field, 25 for methodology or approach. Okay, so did you? Okay, so what's your method? Your approach on the given material, argument and use of evidence. Okay, so look for evidences, okay, to support your thesis statement, and then your writing style and text structure. So how complex the language is. All right. So question.